cheers to DeFi Global Summit participants. And here I am, I'm Alexander Lebedev, and used to be a banker for 25 years. I've sold my bank without any liabilities for a small amount of money a year ago, because a few years ago my bank came under attack from rogue law enforcement agencies. They've opened up a few criminal cases against me, and the clients get scared. So I had to pay out to the clients more than $1 billion. And thus my bank shrinked 20 times. I had to cut all of the branches, all of the infrastructure. And when I sold the bank, I sold it with my own cash and a couple of buildings inside the capital. That used to be the most reliable bank in the country and probably in the world. But lucky I am to find myself in a unique position. I'm probably the only banker in 15 years in this country who, instead of stealing the client's money and then calling it a day, claiming that the bank went into bankruptcy because of the hostile environment, which is untrue, because most of the Russian bankers, and there have been 3,000 banks deprived of their licenses in the recent 15 years, they've stolen probably more than $100 billion. And they went after the money because the money has been, of course, laundered and parked outside Russian Federation. I call that global financial apartheid, which is a part of that, a small part, because every year more than $1 trillion is stolen from most of the countries around the world by corrupt bureaucracies with their cronies and assistants, which are the bankers, of course. There can't be any piece of dirty money which bypasses Credit Suisse in Switzerland. Of course, the auditors take part of that, and of course the lawyers, the best lawyers in the world. They are the biggest protection of the money launderers. So I see DeFi as a possibility to bypass this corrupt banking, auditing, and legal bureaucracies, which helps to launder this $1 trillion every year. Some of the money is parked, by the way, in the United States, in South Dakota or Nevada, in the trust systems. And you can't recover anything from it. I don't know why, but the Americans on one side are claiming that they're fighting this global financial apartheid. On the other hand, some of the United States are allowed to park and to launder and to keep and to preserve this stolen money. So this is pretty unfair. I consider, I hope, I can't say that I'm 100% sure of that, but my feeling and what I'm using my quite vast business experience. I'm not a cryptographer. I'm not a real participant of the crypto world. I can't read the smart contract. And my understanding about US dollar Trezor or DAI or compound or stable coin or blockchain are pretty limited. I'm a neophyte. I've recently learned it, and neophytism is actually an opening up to some unknown before thing. But I'm a client of Compound, and I do feel sometimes I am a participant of a Ponzi scheme, but I still think that the first stage of the development of cryptocurrencies, where people were stealing money, were fooling around, were expecting to get $1,000 1,000% yield, which of course did not turn out to be the way. But this first stage is over. It is the second stage, which is decentralized finance, which has been existing for roughly a year and a half and raised about $1 billion. In the recent couple of months, the DeFi platforms raised another 10 billion, has stabilized at that. There's a new phenomenon of a stable coin, one linked to US dollar, one DAI also linked, but through a more sophisticated thing. This is not a United States exchange. And finally, the smart contract, which I can't read. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a crypto specialist. But if, for example, I decide to use my platform, not to sell the equity, not to violate any of the SEC regulations, say, give the equity for free, there will be hundreds of people capable of reading the smart contract and noticing whether I have introduced something wrong into the smart contract. And why I'm interested in this phenomena is, for example, I've been specifically targeting the issue of world fundraising for charity. Out of the 600 billion, roughly half is simply stolen or misused through so-called administrative costs. For example, there was a story of Bono who raised $20 million US, and he spent this 20 million on just paying salaries to his people and paying some transport and other legal stuff. And when asked why would he spend 20 million not on the charity but on the administrative costs, he said, because I wanted to raise awareness of the world for charity. This is lying. And I know of a very well-known American charity foundation which loves fundraising in Monaco. And I have a feeling, I have a suspicion that the CEO of the fund gets $3 million US salary per month, maybe per year. He spends a lot of money on private jets and private villas and private planes. And don't you think there's something wrong with it? And if you would do the fundraising and processing of the money for charities inside the blockchain, nobody would be able to steal anything at all. I mean, if you are a poor peasant somewhere in Bangladesh and you would like to support your colleague in Peru, then any dollar you spend could be traced up to the... You pay no transactional stuff, and you eliminate any bankers. You can't hide the London money, and you interact with your partner, who also has tokens, directly, straightforwardly. And this is what this decentralized finance allows you, because as we all know, there's about $500 billion US invested in coins already. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and most of the people were deprived of the opportunity to interact. So hopefully, I will be able to return my investment into Compound, and I will do it once the interest which I raise now would diminish. The more people would come on the platform, the less interest the people would get, and probably the interest to withdraw the money would be more motivated. The way I am trying to speak to you, honorable gentlemen and ladies, and is I am raising questions. As I say, I can't guarantee that we are on the right track, but I have a feeling that if we combine our effort and we honestly behave and feel towards each other, and there's a very, very large range of opportunities which decentralized finance on blockchain and stablecoin gives to us. And I'm launching now a sustainable development project in Africa. We'll start from Mombasa in Kenya and from Addis Ababa, which would be exporting Russian ice cream. And the reason to export the Russian ice cream into African capitals is to create jobs. Because in some of the capitals, there's up to 50% of the youth from 20 to 30 years are jobless. We will buy Chinese bicycles with little refrigerators with a solar panel, give it to a guy in the capital, arm him with the Russian ice cream, and we will beat any competitor, because at this exchange rate and this quality, Russian ice cream is unbeatable, and is a great brand, by the way. This is already happening in Senegal and Ivory Coast with the Russian suppliers. And we would like to take it to a few more capitals. And I will definitely at some stage try to fundraise through charities additional funding. Because my aim is, I can probably create 10,000 jobs with my own money, but if I go for 100,000 or 1 million jobs, there's enough of ice cream in this country. I would probably go to the United States, to Japan, to China for fundraising. And I would also like to get the Russian kids involved, because this is the way to learn geography, to learn about political systems, to learn business, to learn branding. Even if we are lucky, we can donate part of the profit to conservation of wildlife, for example, of protection of elephants, which I've been doing for 15 years in Africa. So there's a great game coming up, and I would like to use the cryptocurrency, the decentralized finance, for funding this operation. And this, by the way, gives us a way to avoid currency controls and also to avoid any sort of fraud inside the system. I would probably go into explaining further on this ice cream project in Africa. I think it's very image creative for Russia, because unfortunately Russia has been actually painted black. As I'm laughingly saying, before they would say Russians are scoundrels, but they still have Tolstoy and Dostoevsky. Now, no. They would deny we had Tolstoy and Dostoevsky. It's just Russians are scoundrels, and they blame everything on us. And it's most unfortunate. We have to do something about it. So I also aim at this sustainable development ice cream project in Africa, looking at through the Russian creation of image perspective. That's all I wanted to say for the time being. I wish you good luck and a productive exchange of opinions. And I'm around if there's any questions. Thank you very much. Take care.